Thank you, Anne, and welcome everyone to our practice today. Today, I'd like us to think about that this Saturday is the winter solstice. So it's that time of year when it is the shortest day, the longest night, and then we start moving towards more daylight. But it is also a time that many yogis will use it as the time of reflection and really going inward and an opportunity for some silence and space in life, which is interesting because for those that celebrate the many holidays over the next couple days, we have Christmas and Kwanzaa and Hanukkah. It's a very busy time also for us. So I'd like to use this session, this practice with you today to offer ourselves some quiet before we move into, if you're moving into a busy time, and even if you're not, I always look at the solstice as that time when we're really going into winter. So to me, it's like a long, quiet time. So let's come to our practice. And if you'd like to soften your eyes, maybe soften your eyes here. And we'll begin by just taking some deep belly breaths to help us find our place in our practice today. So taking a full breath in, feeling your belly expand, ribs expand, chest expand, and then releasing. You can even let go with a soft sigh. And as we inhale, once again, expanding belly and ribs and chest, and exhaling with a sigh. And then one more inhale, expanding all the way up, filling up with prana and life force. And as you exhale, completely releasing. And then come back to a few normal breaths here. I'm going to ask for you to bring your hands together and let's get a nice, warm feeling of energy in the palms of our hands. So just rubbing. And then release and bring your shoulders to opposite elbows and just start to let that energy flow down your arms all the way down. Then bringing palms back together. And now bringing your palms to the top of your legs and letting your hands come down your legs as far as it's comfortable to bend forward. And then if you wear glasses, you may want to take them off. We're going to rub our palms together, rub, really get a nice warmth here. And then lightly bring your palms to your eyes. And then let your head fall forward into your hands gently holding your eyes, your head. And as you begin to come to quiet, let yourself imagine a word that is meaningful to you, perhaps in your practice today, or as we move towards the winter solstice. And then as you're ready, you can raise your head, breathing. I'm gonna move back to my chair. And just shake that energy off your hands. So just another little energy exercise that for those that have been joining when I have shared yoga with you over the last couple of months, I like to build in some energy exercises for us so that we don't get stagnant, which is so easy this time of year. And we'll take that full inhale once again. So taking a full inhale and exhale. And on your next inhale, turning your palms up towards the sky. We'll take an inhale, bringing your arms up. Remembering that if you need to adjust by coming into cactus arms or lower arms, whatever is right for you today. And then slowly releasing, turning the palms down. We'll take another inhale, palms up, gathering energy all around. You can let your chin lightly come up if that feels good. And then turning your palms down, letting your chin float to your heart center. We'll take an inhale, sweeping up once again. And then this time you can release your left arm down. And then slowly and gently start to arch over towards the left. And you can always just bring your hand behind your head if that gives you more support. And we'll float the left arm up. Dropping our right arm and arch over to the right. Take a deep full inhale once again. And we'll bring our hands through heart center, Anjali Mudra. Releasing your hands. Let's bring our hands to our knees and we'll come into our seated cat-cow. It's always one of my favorites. So taking an inhale, imagine you have a string lightly pulling you forward. And as you exhale, curling your chin towards your heart center, curling your back into cat. Inhale, pulling through into cow. And exhale, curling back into cat. And I have you go through a couple of cycles on your own because we all need different movement here. Some people like to go a little faster. Some like to go a little slower. So go through and see what feels right. And just remember to breathe. So you always want your breath integrated with this movement of our bodies. And then the next time you come through cat, we'll come up to seated. And feet on the floor. Gaze is forward. And a seated mountain pose. The Sanskrit word Tadasana, you may have heard. Feeling the stability and support all around us. Now with your hands still on your thighs, it's going to circle our knees, so knees and body. Circling around, loosening up. So for those of us that are in the colder climates, going the opposite way, it is easy to get very stiff this time of year. And my understanding is in some places in Florida, it's even a little chilly. So hopefully this helps. And then coming back to neutral once again. And have you just walk your feet out just a little. We're going to come into a breath practice, and it's called the breath of joy. And this breath of joy is a way to help us fill up our entire being, just like we just did belly, ribs, and chest, but also, once again, to move energy around. So I'll show you how it goes first slow. And first, you're going to take an inhale and bring your arms forward. Then you inhale out to the side. Inhale up. And then depending on how comfortable you are, you can just release and go, ha. So I'll show that to you again, and I'll show you a variation if going forward doesn't work for you. So it's inhale into your belly, inhale into your ribs, inhale into your chest, and you can just go, ha. So you can either ha, just dropping your arms, or you can fold forward. So we'll do this together, and hopefully you will feel the energy flowing through, and it's a breath that I love to do. So inhale forward, inhale ribs, inhale chest, ha, and let your ha out. Inhale forward, inhale ribs, inhale chest, ha. Do two more. Inhale belly, inhale ribs, inhale chest, ha. One more. Inhale, 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 ha. Let yourself come back up. Place your hands on your thighs. Just take a soft gaze, because you probably feel a lot of vibration going through. That's great. Now take that full inhale without the breath of joy. Belly, ribs, chest, and a soft sigh. And coming back to your mountain pose, let's start to march our feet up and down. So still feeling under one foot as you raise the other, that stability of the earth. Breathing. And release. And then we'll take our left leg and just bend. Straighten your leg out and bend. Straighten and bend. Extending, feeling yourself begin to open. You can release your left leg and we'll come to the right. So extend your right and bend. Just letting yourself be aware of the sensations going on. As I said, it's at that time of year where we can get a little stiff and actually a little tweaky if you're very busy with holidays or anything like that. And release. And coming back to mountain pose. We'll come into a sun salutation that we did, I think, maybe the second time I was here, and we'll come back to that today. So taking your palms, reaching up towards the sky, full deep inhale. And then exhale, your choice is you can bring your chest to your thighs or just your hands down. I'll leave that option up to you. Slowly reaching up towards the sky again. Bringing hands through heart center. And bringing your left leg up and releasing. Right leg up, releasing and sweeping up with hands to heart center. We'll come through that salutation again. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, folding forward. Turning palms up as you reach back up to the sky. Hands through heart center, bringing your left knee up and your right knee up, and slowly releasing back to mountain. Take an inhale, coming up towards the sky once again, and twisting over towards your left. So your hand can come to the outside of your left thigh. And as you take your next inhale, imagine the crown of your head is reaching up. And as you exhale, twist from the waist area. So you don't want to be twisting from your shoulders or your chin. It's all happening at the waist. Inhale to extend and exhale to twist. And taking a few breaths here. Once again, noticing if there's any areas of tightness. And if there is, just back off. And then slowly unwinding as you reach up towards the sky and coming over to the right. Take an inhale to an extend and exhale, twist. Inhale, extend. Exhale, twist. Breathing. Unwinding and sweeping all the way up. And we're going to fold forward here, whichever variation. And just take a few breaths. So a seated forward fold. Forward folds are a wonderful way to come to quiet and peace. And then slowly just letting yourself come back up to our mountain pose. And breathe. We're going to come into gate pose. I don't know if you've practiced it before. And we'll start with gate on the right side. So I'm going to show variations again for legs. So your leg can come straight out, and it's easier if you come to the edge of your chair. But if it isn't comfortable, just bend it. So if your leg is straight out, your foot can be flat to the floor, or your toes can be up, like that. And this left leg is bent just as if you were seated. So we can stay right here in gate pose, and I'll show some different variations, taking an inhale, sweeping up. You can bring your right arm down and leave your left arm up to the sky. That's one variation. And again, always remember, if holding your arm up is too intense, you can bring it here or on your shoulder. Second variation is you can arch over. So gate pose, Paranjasana. Breathing, feeling the extension all down your left side. We'll sweep back up to center. Bring your hands to heart center as you bring that right leg back. And we'll come to the opposite side. So, we always do things on both sides. Always interesting to see if they feel the same, which usually they don't, but we'll start. I'll move these blocks out of the way so you can see here. Bringing your left leg out. Again, foot can be on the floor or heel up, or if you need it closer, just move it. We'll sweep our arms up, reaching shoulders nice and relaxed here. Dropping your left arm down and can stay here. Or begin to arch over, coming into gate. Stretching. Breathing. And sweeping all the way back up. Hands at heart center as you release that left leg. Coming back into mountain pose. We'll sweep up to the sky. Folding forward. Taking a few breaths in this forward fold. And then slowly coming all the way back up. Taking an inhale and an exhale. We'll sweep all the way up. Releasing as we bring our left leg up. Release your left leg, right leg up. Release, sweeping all the way up. Hands floating down. You can bring your left leg up, and this time you have the option to bring your nose to your knee. And release. Right leg up, nose to knee. Release. Sweeping all the way up. Hands to heart center. We'll do that again. Inhale, sweeping up, getting the energy flowing. As you exhale, bring your left knee up, knee to nose, right knee up, knee to nose, sweeping all the way up. Hands at heart center. Inhale and exhale. We'll move into extended side angle. So releasing your hands, it's similar. Your right leg is going to go out. And some options here. You can use a block if that will give you a little more height and ease. And your leg comes out to the side. If that's not comfortable, just leave it. You can use the block and keep it right here. So I'll show that version. And we'll come into extended side angle. So that's an inhale to sweep up. Bringing your left forearm to your left thigh. You can stay here, or you can arch over. And I do like to put my hand either behind my head here, or another nice way is behind your back, like this, because it opens your whole shoulder up. Opens my shoulder up, I should say, so that I can get a nice stretch here. Breathing. And then whatever variation you're doing, let it all unwind. Releasing your arms as you sweep up. And just come through heart center again. And we'll do that on the opposite side. So once again, if you're using the block or not, bringing your left leg out. sweeping up, right forearm to right thigh, arching, or behind the head, or behind the back. Just breathing here once again, feeling the opening. Breath and movement. Pressing yourself back up, unwinding as you come back into mountain pose. Taking an inhale, hands to heart center. Taking 3 breaths in the quiet pose of mountain Tadasana. And releasing. So we'll come into tree pose, and I know there's a couple ways of practicing here, so just a quick, unless people are sure what they're doing. Tree pose can be using a block and raising your arms. For those that want to stand, I'll show some options here. You can also use a block here. That's an option. You have the option of just kickstanding or bringing your foot to your calf. So I'll start with my foot to calf and holding on to the chair. Important thing to remember, wherever you put your foot, you don't want to ever lean it against your knee. So whether you are seated or standing, let's come back to that stability of the earth. Pressing your feet in, breathing, and getting a focal point. So as you come into your tree, you have the stability of the earth beneath you, but also of having a focal point going inward. On the inhale, taking your right leg and coming into any of those variations. So seated variation, kickstand variation, seated or standing. Foot on your calf. And if you have a free hand and you want to bring it up towards the sky like a tree branch, you're seated, you might want to bring both up. And coming to quiet and breath. And as you're ready, slowly releasing your arms, releasing your leg, and you're standing or seated. You might want to do a couple of jiggles here to work out of your hips. And then we'll come to the other side. I'll move my chair over here. And always come back to that mountain pose, standing or seated. Always come back to the foundation. On the inhale, bringing your right leg up and turning it. for however you're going to practice. So one side might be different than the other. That's fine. And with your eyes on your focal point, if you want to raise the branch, breathing, finding strength in this pose. And then slowly releasing. And again, taking any little movement to shake out any stiffness here. And finding your way back to your chair. And breathe. We just have a few more poses here. And our next pose will be called either alternate table or bird dog. So on an inhale, we're going to bring our left leg up, straight out. And if this is good for you, you can stay right here. Or you can bring your left arm up, right leg out. Or you can extend that right arm forward so it's opposite leg, opposite arm. Breathing. And slowly releasing your leg and your arm. Coming back to mountain for a breath. And we'll come to the opposite side. So taking an inhale, extending your right leg. And then coming into whichever variation with the arm. And some of these poses, because they do require our concentration, help us to go inward, back to our winter solstice of turning inward. Releasing your leg, releasing your arm, sweeping all the way up, reaching, with hands coming to heart center. And moving into boat pose, Navasana. So again, variations on this. If you have a block, I'll show you the different variations. You can bring your toes to the block. And physically, what you're trying to achieve here is really tightening up in here, tightening up in your core. Your chest has that imaginary string on again, just lightly pulling you forward. That's one variation. You can come back a little further and maybe lift one leg. So one leg on the block, one leg lifted. You can release that, and if you're doing that variation, let the other leg come out. And release, or holding on to the chair. That's a little more intense, so you might want to play with bringing both legs up and holding. And then slowly releasing, pressing your block out of your way if you had it there. Sweeping all the way up, or yeah, nice twist again. So twisting over to the left. Back to center. over to the right, back to center, and then we're just going to reach up, side to side. Get some length back in our bodies from those few standing poses and boat pose. And bringing your arms down, let's turn our feet out, toes out towards the sides. We'll come into goddess pose. So inhaling your arms up, and as you exhale, opening. So you should feel your shoulder blades coming together. Breathing. Holding this pose. And letting your hands come down to your thighs. We'll do a couple of twists here. So bringing your right shoulder to your left leg, back through center, left shoulder to right side. Go back and forth, and it's a wonderful time again to integrate your breath. So inhaling as you come up, exhaling as you twist. Do a few more of those on each side. Next time you come through center, coming up nice and tall. Bringing your hands to the back of your chair so you can just come into a little baby back bend so that string again is pulling you up. Releasing that, walking your feet together back to mountain pose. Nice and sturdy. We'll sweep our arms up to the sky. Hands coming to heart center as you take your right leg, crossing your ankle over your left thigh. And you want your foot just slightly flexed so your knee is protected. You can stay here, feeling that stretch in your right hip, or take an inhale. And if you want to, gently fold forward. And so as we know with yoga, it's all about effort and ease. So you want to ease into these poses. And as you move into it, ease. Effort will tell you when to stop. Trying to get a stretch here, not overly stretch in any particular pose or area. And pressing up if you were in that forward fold, releasing that leg, sweeping your arms up, and taking opposite elbows over your head. If not, place your hands behind your head or on your shoulders. And then whichever variation, just let your shoulders melt. Reaching back up towards the sky. Hands floating down as you engage with your left leg, bringing that leg up and over. The figure 4. Again, your left foot is slightly flexed. You can take that inhale and stay where you are or fold forward. Breathing. Slowly releasing the pose. Sweeping your arms up and see if you can remember what arm was on top the last time and switch. Reaching up, coming back to mountain pose. Before we move into Shavasana, if there's any little movements that you need to take so that as we sit in relaxation for a few minutes, just make any little movement here that you need. I'm gonna move my chair forward. Breathe. Finding quiet again. We're actually going to go back to that eye warming energy. So if you're ready, you can rub your palms together once again. Gently cupping your eyes. Letting your hands hold your head. Recalling your words you set for the beginning of class. And as you're ready, you can raise your head, soften or close your eyes, and come into relaxation. So letting your eyes stay softened or closed. Let yourself come back and imagine the space around you. See your walls, the chair you're in. Starting to make your way back to this present moment. You'll notice your breath as you inhale and exhale. Breath taking in the positive energy from the universe and filling and flowing through you. And gently begin to move your fingers, your toes, your wrists to help you move more and more back into this moment. And then coming to stillness once more. Recalling your word once again that you set at the beginning of practice. And knowing as we go through this next few days, well, it will be darker on Saturday, winter solstice. The light begins to return, but it is this time of reflection and finding silence and solitude. And solstice, another word for it is Yule. So closing with this Yule blessing. May the solstice and the turning of the wheel bring you love, peace, and good fortune in the coming year. Opening your eyes, I thank you so much for practicing with me today. I wish you all the best for the coming year. And I close with Namaste, the light in the teacher in me honors the light in the teacher in you. Thank you so much.